But that day came, in a way no one could ever believe. He was born into darkness, a world without color, without form, without light. Every sound became his vision, every whisper his direction. But deep inside, he carried one unshakable hope: one day, I will see. In a quiet desert village, people knew him only as the blind man. They pitied him, ignored him, sometimes mocked him. Every morning, he sat by the same dusty wall, hearing laughter he could never join. Yet still, he whispered prayers into the wind. One day, a man with calm eyes and humble clothes walked into town. He wasn't rich. He wasn't loud, but his presence silenced the market. They said, "He heals." The blind man turned his face toward the voice, and felt something he hadn't in years: hope. The stranger knelt beside him, reached for the earth, and spat upon the ground. He mixed dust and breath together, forming clay between his fingers. People stared in confusion, but the man felt the clay touch his eyelids, cool, soft, alive. The voice spoke gently, yet carried power. "Go, wash your eyes in the pool." The blind man trembled. "Wash? With what?" "Water," the stranger smiled. "And faith." He rose, guided by nothing but belief. He stumbled, fell, and rose again. Every step felt heavier than the last. Villagers whispered, "He's gone mad." But inside his chest burned a quiet fire, the kind only the faithful know. At the edge of the village shimmered a pool, silent, sacred. He knelt, trembling hands cupping the water. As the clay softened and slipped away, his breath caught in his throat. A spark. A shimmer. Then, light. Blinding, beautiful, overwhelming light. For the first time in his life, he saw the world, and wept like a child reborn. Word spread like fire. People ran to see the man who once was blind now staring at the sky. Some shouted, "Miracle." Others muttered, "Trick." But his eyes, clear, alive, told the truth no argument could hide. They dragged him to the priest. "Who did this?" they demanded. He replied simply, "A man named Jesus." The room froze. Faith met fury. He was cast out, mocked, rejected by his own neighbors. But even as doors closed, he smiled. Because for the first time, he saw what truly mattered: light itself. Later, on a quiet path, the stranger found him again. "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" he asked. The healed man whispered, "Tell me who he is, so I may believe." And when he saw him, he fell to his knees. Years passed. His hair grayed. But each morning, he washed his eyes, not to clean them, but to remember. He would tell children, "These eyes were once made of clay." In his old age, he returned to the same dusty wall. This time, not in blindness, but gratitude. He touched the ground and smiled. "From this dust, I was reborn." Every man carries darkness. But some carry the courage to let light in, even when it comes in strange forms, like clay. Faith is not seeing to believe. It is believing, before you see. Even when storms rise and the world grows dark again, the man's eyes never lost their glow. Because true sight comes from within. It wasn't magic. It wasn't gold. It was earth and faith, two of the simplest things, creating the greatest miracle. Years later, others came to the same pool, hoping, praying. Some were healed, some were not, but all left believing in something bigger than pain. He used to be called the blind man. Now they called him the man who sees. And to everyone who asked how, he said, "Faith, and a little clay." Generations later, his story still travels, whispered between hearts that need hope. Because miracles never die. You may not be blind in your eyes, but maybe your soul is tired of darkness. Remember this: light is closer than you think. Today, the clay and the eyes isn't just a story of one man, it's a reminder to us all. Your miracle might already be waiting, right where you stand. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to see hope again. Because sometimes, a simple story can open more eyes than 1,000 miracles. Sparkle subscribe for more real stories that heal the soul.